Over now to Jim Brady and David Cullen from Glasgow Clyde College and City of Glasgow College, and they're going to talk to you about the ESOL Access Project, which helps to streamline the ESOL application process for ESOL learners.
Can you hear me without that? Is that okay? Yeah, let's. David will get that. Okay. Oh, sorry. So we have to. Okay, get close enough here. We'll try and keep this to about 10 or 15 minutes, and we've got questions in the open forum later. Only 2 slides for you. As Emily said, I'm Jim Brady from Glasgow Clyde. David Cullen is from City of Glasgow College, and the third partner in this, in terms of FE, is Kelvin College. And one of the things that's made this kind of partnership possible is the fact that Glasgow now has 3 colleges rather than 15 or 10, or and it's gone down like that as people have merged. So Glasgow's now reduced to 3 colleges. It's very important just to say the other partners include Glasgow City Council and then a big number of other organisations, especially WEA, who I thought were here, but I didn't see Craig. So if any of our partners are here and aren't mentioned, please give us a row. But it's a fairly big partnership. And what it tries to do, therefore, is to offer a single database. And we didn't want to spend too long in the context of it, but Glasgow has been an asylum city, so the idea of having a lot of people immediately needing not just education but a lot of social services isn't anything new. And in fact, even if you look at the present group of Syrians that have brought us to this event today, that's small scale compared to what we've been doing in the last 15 years. That's the key thing about the context of Glasgow. Scales. Quite important that you understand that. Out with that, we think it's common sense, and it's one of these things where we might miss things out, so please ask us questions, but we've lived it for almost a year, and it just all seems very blindingly obvious. The rationale is that you have clarity for applicants. We still have 2 versions of queues, and we're not hiding the fact that we're about halfway along with this project. So because of the way that colleges work, if you're an applicant, you still need to apply to a college. But you apply to this register as well. And what that's going to get you basically is avoiding the need to apply to anybody else. So there might be a small class in a church, a class in Glasgow Life, a class at Workers' Educational Association. All of those people as shared partners are reading the database, and if they have provision, they're using the database to go to people and say, well, who's there, what level are they at, are they in our postcode area, and basically allowing them to make offers to people. Again, the project is at a stage where we're not suggesting it's really easy, that we've streamlined everything in the city, but the starting point is to get everybody on the same database. We hope that it will respond to needs. We're quite upfront. There are people in Annie's Land who are travelling from Easterhouse. If you know your Glasgow geography, that's not good news. There are people going to Cardonald from Shettleston, etc. So we haven't got that right, but the register we think is part of that as well, if we can try and head that off. So within what's a small city, nevertheless, we've still got a lot of unnecessary travel going on as well. We don't have the subtlety of being able to allow people to say they need childcare yet, but we think we'll get there eventually. And again, we're at an early stage. What we'd suggest if you adopt anything like this is you try and put something in on timing as well, so that people can say to you, well, I do such and such every morning, so actually don't offer me a morning class. So we're just trying to work through all those practicalities and iron things out before people get to a stage where they're visiting or going around places and just simply wasting their time at the end of a long process. Suddenly somebody says, well, we don't have any childcare, and then you call the whole thing off. We have got a group of partners who are readers, but David was reminding me earlier, if somebody came to us and they weren't in the partnership, but nevertheless they had provision, we'd refer them to our admin staff, and they would give information about a group of students that were available. And as you'll see on the form when we get there with David in a minute, it's key that you ask people to give you permission to share their information as well. Okay. It's the beginning of a system where, if it works well and it's used well, it won't just tell you who people are and where they live and what they want, but it'll tell you what they've done already. And so we envisaged an elaborate spreadsheet going sideways across, and you would see that somebody had got a church class, gone to a community class, got into part-time college, got into full-time college, and again, anybody who's looking at the register can make a decision, is that the kind of person we're looking for these places that we've got. So again, early days for us, but that's our aspiration is to get to that point of sophistication. It's not easy, and it's not easy on the scale we've got. Depending on where you're from, you might actually find that an easier task, depending on how many partners and how many colleges are involved. Okay. And finally, on that slide, a blindingly obvious thing for Glasgow. Students quite rightly put themselves on X number of lists because they're just desperate to get provision in a situation where we still have people waiting and we still have queues. And the result is duplication. And so if you mindlessly give figures to the government especially, the danger is that Glasgow says, oh, well, we've got these 10,000 people waiting for places. And it is if you add up everybody on every list, this list will prevent that. And if we have to do any reporting, which is crucial to us getting funding, then we can be much more confident about any figures that we provide. Okay, that finishes that slide. And there's only one more, and David is keeping me right with timing. Am I doing okay? 2 minutes left, thank you. I'll get my revenge when he goes on. I want to just outline what you'd have to look at with your partners. And again, this all seems blindingly obvious, and I can do it in 2 minutes. It needs people to be fairly open with each other and fairly honest about what they're doing, and not be too political and genuinely share. And I think we're managing to do that okay so far. He's bigger than me anyway, so in a square go I would lose. You need a little bit of funding. We've got admin, which we think is adequate at the moment, but it's relatively limited. It's 8 hours a week. So we're not sure that's going to be enough, and there are some people saying, well, it's going to need much more than that. See how it goes. We see this as a pilot exercise, and if there's more money, that might expand. The issue of IT comes up as well. So what you need to do is you need to say, well, if you're telling students they have to get themselves in this register, whenever you meet them, you say, well, off you go, get on there, that's you, you're in the queue, you need to do it once. You need to get your partners to make staff available where people have got lack of digital literacy or indeed lack of literacy, and basically have people sit with them and fill in the form. We'll see our form very shortly. And again, we've got that. We think that in Glasgow libraries, you can walk into a library, show them this, give them the basic information. I want to join this, and the library staff will doesn't take more than 10 minutes and sit and fill in the details, and that's you on. Okay. Testing sessions is another thing that you would need to think about. We've got so many different models for testing in Glasgow that we've not got into that today, and I can get into that in the questioning. But testing's a problem because in an ideal world, somebody would go to the register, put in the level that they're at and the level they're needing, and that will simplify things for the providers as well. In practice, as well as queuing for provision, sometimes you're queuing for testing as well. And again, I don't think we're embarrassed about that in Glasgow. It's just an aspect of the scale of it. So you'd have to have a look at whether you can do anything clever which links any testing sessions that are going on to getting on. And then again, as I said on the first slide, try and make sure that if there is information when it gets there, it would be crazy if somebody did have a test and they didn't put the test level in the form. It just puts everybody one step back. Okay. And finally, and my link to bringing David in now, you need very, very simple software. There's nothing terribly clever to the software, and you need to design an accessible form. I will take questions later. I hope you've got some. And in order to keep to time, I'm going to hand over to David now.
Okay. Thank you, Jim. Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me well enough. I'm going to sit on the computer and show you very quickly the interface that we've created for this project. It basically is housed on Google. It's a Google form and a Google spreadsheet. We pay for a business account with Google, but it's not a lot of money. We researched in some detail the security levels of Google online storage, and they are we are confident that they do keep information safe. In fact, large companies are using it, and even some areas of government are using shared documentation via Google. I'm going to open the website now and show you the form that we designed. The number of questions we asked, we had to keep it low enough so people can use it, but we had to try and gather just enough information so it was useful information. Okay, I'll put this That button that you saw there, that link is housed on a website which is part of the ESOL Network project, which gives information about community classes across Glasgow and coordinates testing sessions, along with the EASE, which Jim coordinates. So the link to the register is via that ESOL Network page. And there's a lot of collaboration between the existing ESOL Network and the new ESOL Access Register. Both projects are funded ultimately by the City Council in the main, Community Planning Partnership, Integrated Grants Fund. So the Council has played a part in hosting meetings, bringing us together, and they've even found some extra funds to keep it moving. This is the form. You can see at the beginning, this is a disclaimer. The participant agrees that information can be shared among ESOL providers in the interest of finding learning opportunities. And it's a compulsory tick box. If it's not ticked, this form won't be received. Male, female, gender identity, first name, family name, date of birth, and the address, and most importantly, mobile phone. In this pilot project, we see the SMS message, the mobile phone, as being key to the success. Snail mail doesn't reach its destination, or the person may have moved. A concierge in the high flats might not get the paper up to the door. Emails, people, if they have an email, they don't check it regularly perhaps, but a mobile phone number we believe people do have, and it's an easy way to communicate. It is one-way communication at the moment. It is possible to pay more and allow the people to answer, but you can make announcements and send invitations via SMS. So this database, this register, it should give us a searchable database of postcodes, male, female, level, if they have a level, and from that point you can then send in messages via SMS to 10 people or 50 people or 100 people, highlighting opportunities. There's a question here about immigration status, but it's not compulsory. It's of interest. Sometimes courses can be funded for people of certain status, but we didn't make it compulsory on this form. Who is helping you to complete the form? One of our partners perhaps, or an individual himself? And at the end there's a section here about the applicant's level. Maybe they've never had a test at all, or they can tick one of these boxes. They also indicate how old or how current that test is, because a lot of the stakeholders, we see evidence of a person's level changing across time. So it's sensible to find out how current that information is. At the end of that, the applicant, with or without the support of a community worker or a friend or whatever, click submit. The information goes to the spreadsheet, which is securely stored. We have an admin assistant who works in the Glasgow ESOL forum, but she's employed 8 days a week. 8 hours a week. 8 hours a week to manage this information, to make sure that the people who've applied receive an SMS within 5 days confirming they are joining the register. And then on a timetabled basis, she will send a reminder message after 4 weeks or 8 weeks. Are you still here? Are you still the same? So we want the database to remain current. And that's built into the planning of that admin role. The software doesn't cost us a lot of money. It's a small, tiny amount of money to have a business account with Google. And but the admin person, that's where we do need some investment. City Council has been fantastic. Ultimately Scottish Government money, but comes to Glasgow and is dispersed through the Community Planning Partnership and the Integrated Grants Fund. We are optimistic about this, and I think a lot of stakeholders want the ability to put their clients' names into the system. So we feel good about it, and as Jim said though, it relies upon collaboration. Those stakeholders It's no good if I test 50 people but I don't tell the register about those 50 people. We all have a commitment to join in and share the information. Bearing in mind protecting the data, we don't share it with anybody and we use it responsibly. I think, as Jim said at the end, we'll have the open forum at the end of the afternoon for more questions. Hello? I've brought lots of these flyers. Please take 1 or 2 away with you today. Don't take these en masse today, please, because I don't have so many. But take them away as reminders. Okay, thank you very much for your attention, and perhaps speak to you throughout the afternoon. Thank you.